Everybody, Gerone Wright here, and once again, you're joining me on my Gerone Wright YouTube channel here on YouTube. Um, in this video, I'm going to be doing some decoding of Leonardo da Vinci's image here. It's this image is a drawing of Christ, and I guess Christ is holding like a staff, a piece of wood, and he's actually looking up. These images are these drawings are very unique, and it's been revealed some time ago that Da Vinci was into the mirroring aspect with regards to his work, and thanks to a my mirroring tech Mike, I was able to discover, make some amazing discoveries with regards to Da Vinci's work. Prior to hooking up and teaming up with Mike, I realized through my own paranormal experience and encounter that there are images, that multidimensional images, which appear in these artworks, and there's like a mental draw. You're drawn into these images because there's this mechanism in your eyes and in your mind, your instinctive awareness, that draws you to this. And you become mesmerized by it because your own natural instincts is saying, what is to this image that is drawing me there? What is there? There is this mechanism in your body that automatically, where it causes you to try to look at this for what it really is. And my ability through my paranormal experience and encounter surpassed that point that we get stuck at in the moment of awe over these images. And dimensionally, I was able to go through and go past that barrier that we have, which I claim is put in place by ancient rooted religion and ancient rooted royalty, which causes for us to fear images like this and the entity altogether of Christ, and this barrier of religion. And not just that, the laws of physics and everything else, which is actually governed by those two bodies, ancient rooted religion and ancient rooted royalty. And these barriers became unblocked in my mind. And I was able to look past drawings of Christ and actually start to find that there was almost like a hidden genetic grail that describes how Caucasians, which this is describing, is how Caucasians came from the likenesses of their African, their Asian, and the European counterparts. And this is what this is all describing: a genetic grail of how mankind been genetically bridged from one civilization of people unto becoming the next. If you think about it, you have to agree with me that the tale, or the biblical moments of Adam and Eve only occurred, according to the Bible, some 2,000 some odd plus years ago. But yet science has it that mankind is much older than that, which has later been proved. But again, I like to state that they're both right. Science is right and religion is right, because if you look at the detail in Adam and Eve is only discussing that of Caucasians being created. They are talking about the Caucasian groups of people, or civilizations of people, which have been created just 2,000 years ago, if you think about it. Now, if you look at all of our ancestors from Africa, through Asia, through Egypt, through Asia, through all of these, you'll notice that Caucasians seem to be the uniquely set of people that look brand new. Almost, if you go out and look, I'm talking about with the look that they have, with the skin, with the eyes, with their hair. It's like a rejuvenation of creation when you look at our Caucasian counterparts. I mean, there's no better way to describe it. They are a brand new group of created people, and this is how Adam and Eve came along. This are the tale of Adam and Eve, and how mankind was just created 2,000 years ago. Because this is specifically the moment of Adam and Eve is specifically just detailing and describing that of our Caucasian counterparts. created from other civilizations of mankind. Now, this image, Leonardo da Vinci, when mirrored, it produces some very interesting images. Here's one. I have this too, people. You can join me on Facebook. I have these images on Facebook, my Google Plus and my Gerone Plus, so you can see. All right. Here's a mirrored image here, and there are mutations that show how the Christ went under a transformation with animal genes and with mankind genes. You can see here there's a mutation in the face, here in the stomach area, and I believe that this one has the African, well, I have the other one with the African, what you call them on there, but down here I have highlighted a Popo figure in the robe. This will be his beard, this will be his head area, face. And do I have that marked as a tiara probably? Oh yeah, crown or tiara right here. And these little guys, these little wizard guys, you know what I mean? If you think about it, all of this is throughout ancient history, and here it is showing up in a mirrored image of that of Christ. Now, notice how the staff comes, when you mirror the image, it becomes out on both sides, and you have like a king on the throne. Okay, but if you look in close, let me bring you in closer here. You can see these pictures clear on my. This is coming from the view cam, so I'm sure you're not getting a pretty good detail. But I'm going to show you on this one here. I can bring this one in closer. But if you notice here that at the head now, notice that this is all African, or either African or witch doctor garb, wardrobe that is covering the head of Christ here. Okay, he's covenanted in those genes. Then if you come down here around his waist, down here, you notice that this is a like a Roman vest or soldier's breastplate, and then over here comes the shoulder plates for that outfit. Okay, and then down here, which my mirror man said also looks like a vagina, and I agree. But if you notice down here that this is more consistent with being like an Arabian or Arabian headpiece. Okay, that fits over the head, and you would see the familiar Arabian face up in here. Okay, and it's showing that Christ is bridged over all of these genes to change him genetically from who he originally was. Now, I have some other mirrored images here I want to show you before I go into detail, because there's always a reference. Oh, I'm going to show you here before I go into that, because on the back of here, I don't know if you can actually see it, but down here where the shoulder plate is, if you notice right here on this helmet, on the not on the helmet, on the shoulder plate, where the arm is supposed to come through one end and the shoulder and the body on the other end, on this end is a creature which I've described as that of the creature that came off the closer side of the dinosaur side, which I'm stating is the reptilian ape. And over here, if you take particular notice, that holding this staff is not that hand. It actually creates the face of a croc. Right there, I'm over top of the nose. The eye would be here. Here's the bottom lip area, and you can even see teeth in there. These creatures, off on both sides. I don't know which side you could see it better on, okay? But these mutations are describing genes that we evolved from. Now, I was running out of ink, but this is the same exact image, I promise you. And those staffs are pulled up over top. I'm gonna hold this image up here. Let me put this image here. I might probably have to put more in writing too. We're at 9 minutes here. Okay. Notice how the face of a cat is created. Those staffs are up here now through the mirroring. They're off on each side. There's the cat's nose. There's the center mouthpiece of the cat. Here's the bottom lip area. And I put in an eye right there. I'm going to put in one eye. But to give you an idea of what's going on, and would be the other eye socket here. Now, people, the cat is an ancient representation. You see the cat in ancient Egypt. That's where I guess it first appears. There with the Great Sphinx. So the representation of the cat is not no household cat as we know it, but it's the evolutionary passage of the cat that's being described. And the cat, along with the ancient roots of our ancient dinosaur, or the bird, are always depicted in these inscriptions because it shows a genetic ground of where mankind truly came from. So when you turn this image over, as I just done, there's a prehistoric bird that appears with that good image there of the cat. I'm going to start speeding up here. And you see the head of the bird, even the ruffle part on the front, on the top, like we see with our chickens. I forgot what you call that, but the beak, all of it, the eye, everything is detailed in full detail, even coming down to the nose. And here's the other side, which I didn't touch or didn't edit, but I highlighted this with just a pencil. So people, in the image of Da Vinci, and then it has the cat here. Now check this out, the image of the cat here, and then with the bulb in its mouth, showing you that there was a new gene created through the process of these creatures, bridged over with that of mankind. And this is how it is describing, this is the whole passage, the biblical passage of Christ, which describes how mankind genetically fathered himself away from his ape, his African, his Asian, ancestors and through to Caucasian, and this manipulation is still going on today. Here is another image, and you can see where where this is a cat here, the feline. Here's more so the lion image. And look at this, the lion's face. Just the characteristic nose of the lion, the eyes, the face. You can see the cat. So it's like when in this, I gotta turn this back over. When this image is mirrored, it takes the cat through each stage of its mutated presence, through the lion and through all of the creatures, to finally becoming the cat gene. It's showing a breakdown of these creatures in the genes of mankind through a dimensional, like images, like a motion picture. So this is just one stage prior to it becoming this, and it shows you the breakdown in the genes, and through each breakdown, it shows you a different likeness, or should I say a mutated likeness of Christ. And you get these faces appearing here in the stomach area and in the face where these guys are looking like aliens. These images, Da Vinci, are describing gene mutations, animaloids, humanoids, and describing our ancestors' faces based on the genetic bridging of our African ancestors, which are described here through this African headdress. Soldiers, describing specific areas with soldiers. This is a Roman breastplate, which I believe to be, and then the Arabian headdress, showing you Christ's bridge between all of this and showing you the mutations. Now, I have other pictures. I think Mike sent me close to probably about 35 of these images, and they all together create a motion picture to describe a genetic bridging that Christ underwent in his passage to becoming genetically altered. My name is Gerone Wright. I'm going to end this video there. But people, this is Leonardo da Vinci's work, and you know that Leonardo da Vinci survived through the era of 14th century, 1400 through the 1500, I believe. People, this should not be. My name is Gerone Wright. I'm gonna put more on writing. My time is ended. This mechanism in your eyes and in your mind, your instinctive awareness, that draws you to this, and you become mesmerized by it because your own natural instincts is saying, what is to this image that is drawing me there? What is there? There is this mechanism in your body that automatically, where it causes you to try to look at this for what it really is. And my ability through my paranormal experience and encounter surpassed that point that we get stuck at in the moment of awe over these images, regards to his work. And thanks to my mirroring tech, Mike, I was able to discover, make some amazing discoveries with regards to Da Vinci's work. Prior to hooking up and teaming up with Mike, I realized through my own paranormal experience and encounter that there are images, that multidimensional images, which appear in these artworks, and there's like a mental draw. You're drawn into these images because there's this, and dimensionally I was able to go through and go past that barrier that we have, which I claim is put in place by ancient rooted religion and ancient rooted royalty, which causes for us to fear images like this and the entity altogether of Christ, and this barrier of religion. And not just that, the laws of physics and everything else, which is actually governed by those two bodies, ancient rooted religion and ancient rooted royalty. And these barriers became unblocked in my mind. And I was able to look past drawings of Christ and actually start to find that there was almost like a hidden genetic grail that describes how Caucasians, which this is describing, is how Caucasians came from the likenesses of their African, their Asian, and the European counterparts. And this is what this is all describing, a genetic grail of how mankind been genetically bridged from one civilization of people unto becoming the next. Everybody, Gerone Wright here, and once again you're joining me on my Gerone Wright YouTube channel here on YouTube. In this video, I'm going to be doing some decoding of Leonardo da Vinci's image here. It's this image is a drawing of Christ, and I guess Christ is holding like a staff, a piece of wood, and he's actually looking up. These images are these drawings are very unique, and it's been revealed some time ago that Da Vinci was into the mirroring aspect with regard